Hello, what's up YouTube? It's been a while, I must admit. I mean, once again you get caught up with daily life and I've got myself in a bit of a pickle again. Um, Everything was going so well. I was like, what, I was on the cloud, everything was going okay. I'm rising above the whole thing of what's going on in the world right now. I don't buy into it. I can't really say I can actually believe in it. But today's subject, what I want to be talking about is Diazepam. Diazepam, Valium, Xanax, you name it. Benzodiazepines. These things are incredibly useful for the ones who have anxiety and panic disorder. So I want to be talking about my experience, what I've had with them and what has occurred whilst I've had this medicine. So back in 2008, I was going through a traumatic time because it was a breakup. We had a house together, and basically everything, if you know what it's like, it's a very heartbreaking. It's the whole change, a lot of change was happening. So I had to go to the doctors, and basically I was depressed. I was getting anxiety, I was getting this panic attack, and at that time I didn't understand what my body was doing. It's like now obviously we analyze things, we understand that our body is having a anxiety attack or a panic attack, and we can sort of calm it down. But when you're in a state of what the hell is happening to me, I needed help. So lucky enough, he put me on to these little pills, and at that time I don't know what the hell was giving me. I was just going to the doctor because I need help, and he gave me these pills, and they were very small. It was probably like a 2.5 milligrams of diazepams. Now, where they felt so good, I started popping these a little bit more than what was prescribed. I ended up doing the box a lot, way too soon. Going back to the doctors for more, and then afterwards he was saying to me that, well, you was prescribed these for a month and you've gone through them in like a week. But he gave me some more, and I got myself into that cycle where these felt amazing. And don't get me wrong, they just alleviate that anxiety, they take away all that worry, and they do make you feel good. But the side effect, what I did have with it, was mainly I just slept. At that time I didn't really care. I was in the house where rent was ticking over and I wasn't paying it. I was just waiting for somebody to knock on the door and then chuck me out, basically. So I didn't care anymore. I was just popping these and loving life. I was falling asleep and sleeping for like 2 days straight. They give you so much hunger as well. You get really hungry with them. That's what I found out, is that I'll wake up and I'll just get this, it was this nice tea. A nice cup of tea was beautiful. And when I ran out completely, I needed more of this miracle drug. I needed to seek out. Now, my mum suffered from she still suffers with the same thing that I have, is a certain anxiety and panic disorder, and she was prescribed these before, but she didn't want to take them because she made her very drowsy, and when she was driving she couldn't remember the trip, and that sort of freaked her out a little bit. But I knew that she still had a pack of these, so I remember going to her house, and then I had another load of diazepams, and off we went again. So this went on for a few months until I've burnt all bridges and run out of resources to have these. The future, what I eventually got more of these, is down to being here in England. It's very difficult to have this drug, to get this drug prescribed. So every time that I needed something, I would make up that I had to go to a different country by plane. I was severely anxious, but I'm not always anxious in a normal state. But you won't give me this, what makes me feel better. You give me citalopram, you give me the sertraline and all these things, what made me worse. And I was telling them it doesn't make me feel good. But what does work is the diazepam. But obviously they're very addictive, and I understand. But from this point on, where I've gone wrong with it so many times, and I've done, yeah. You can forget what you say. You could bring up somebody stupidly and just maybe say some things that you shouldn't down the phone, because you've got no off trap, you've got no switch off trap, so you're just literally, you would say what you think, which is pretty good, but in this kind of world is not great, because it got me in a lot of trouble. And yeah, so I managed to keep it under control, and when I was having a panic attack, they work well. They really do calm yourself down. It calms your heart rate, whatever you're going through, and it puts you into a nice bubble. You know, I know now, obviously I've got a family. I can't be kipping out, and I've got nothing traumatic going on. You know, my life is good, but I still have this anxiety that pops up every so often, and I just don't understand it. You know, so I haven't taken these for a long time. I wanted to show you now. These are the ones what I have. These are 10 milligrams. These are extremely strong, and there's no way that I would take this whole, because you'll just be completely zonked out. So here we go. That's what it looks like, and I have quite a few because I don't take them. But what I do with it is that I always keep one in my wallet. Now, you know, I could go out without taking one for a year or something like that, but just the knowledge of me knowing that just in case I go through an occasion where I might be a little bit anxious or panicky, I've got something there. So this is why for me I call this the comfort drug. Is literally the escape. Whatever happens, if you take one, it's going to take that anxiety away. Everything else is, you know, you're playing with fire a little bit. You don't know what you're dealing with. But this one, yeah, calms my body. But again, I'm going to go back into another story. Is that one night my friend and I, we had to go to a different town, and we cycled there. It was during night time. We had a few beers, and I got to the place that we needed to be. And this other guy had these little blue pills. I mean, I've never seen this before. He said they're anxiety pills, but they're not as strong as other pills. So stupidly, we took these, and they're called etizolams. Now, etizolams are a kind of drug that is like Valium, but it's a lot stronger. It's not known. It's not very known out there. But what the people who remember the legal high drugs, these are still. That's what used to be sold. You used to get like a pack of 3 or something, and yeah, they weren't too bad. But I didn't remember this, and I ended up taking this when I was drunk. Now, me and him then basically started cycling back. I've got some people messaging me saying, "What time are you going to be back?" Blah blah blah. I was meant to meet my friend, and I remember. I kept saying to him, like, 10 minutes, I'm going to be 10 minutes, I'm going to be 10 minutes, as you do. But normally I'm very on time. So then after we got back to town, God knows how we got there, can't remember a thing. And yeah, so my friend's not there. He's rung me up and he said, it's been like 3 hours that, you know, you said 10 minutes, so that's gone. Me and my friend are walking in town, and all of a sudden he disappeared. Out of nowhere, my brain, I was like, oh my God, he's disappeared. But from this point on, I've completely blanked out. I've completely forgotten everything. I don't know how many we took. I think we probably took 2 or 3. But on top of alcohol, they're not, you know, you not recommended. So I ended up going back to his mum's, knocking on his door, looking for him. Apparently, I can't remember this whatsoever. Now the funny thing is with this is that the next day I saw her walking a dog, and I'm just talking to her normal. Can't remember anything what I've done, anything what I've said. But his brothers and sisters were there, and the funny thing is that they said you was really relaxed, really funny last night, even though I can't remember it. So your natural state, when you're not like all tense and you're not all anxious, and you're off your head on etizolum, I was okay. I felt relaxed. But then the next day, I had lost my personality. We ended up meeting up again, and he went on to saying that he hit a taxi with his bicycle, and he was black and blue, but it wasn't from a taxi. It was just our minds completely blanked out, and that's one of the side effects, is that you just blank out. You know, if you go a little bit too far with it, if you drink alcohol, if you take anything else with it, it's extremely dangerous, because it's calming your body. It's calming your body so much that anything could happen. You know, that's where it's dangerous. Is if you're at home and you're having a panic attack, I highly recommend them. You know, if you're feeling very anxious or at a certain place and you haven't got alcohol in your body, then by all means. But do not take these with alcohol. These are terrible. These just make you 10 times worse. And you'll blank out and do silly things, run around and get yourself into trouble. So my advice on these is that yes, they are a very good drug. Yes, they are extremely addictive, but they work if you have severe anxiety, if you have severe panic attacks, and you're seeking something that is short term, you know, because they usually prescribe these for probably like a week or so when you're going through something traumatic. Because we need to remember what the trauma what's occurring is what's going on in the mind. You know, this is the signals that's been given to our hearts, and that's why we have these panic attacks, is because what we have in our mind. So if we can have something like this and we can self-isolate on diazepam, then yes, in a state of a week, if you can give your brain a rest, if you can just like not think about anything and not feed your mind with anything poisonous, and you're not reading up on certain things, you can watch, you know, you can watch TV and you're not actually like receiving anything, you know, too much information. So yeah, on this note, diazepam, highly recommended, but with precaution. Please remember to subscribe to this video, and another thing as well, I wanted to say thank you for the people who have got in touch through my Instagram. That means a lot, because not only I am giving a bit of info out there, but I'm still receiving much more on the other end from other people, because by no means, nobody's out there, nobody's fully cured, and nobody really understands what this thing is. But what we can do as a community, and I'm not putting us in a certain bubble or anything like that, but what we can do is help each other along the way, what we can do, what we can't, and what to avoid. So like, share, subscribe, and remember to follow me on Instagram. Thank you very much, guys, and see you for the next video. Peace. Okay.